Dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I will be sharing 3 Thanksgiving tips for a healthier lifestyle. Now, these tips are actually going to have nothing to do with the Thanksgiving meal itself. I am a firm believer that, unless you have a medical condition that requires otherwise, I think every person should be able to enjoy Thanksgiving meal without worrying about calories or balance or whether you're having enough vegetables or not. It really is a time to be thankful, to spend time with our friends, family, loved ones, and really appreciate the day. So I do think every person should just enjoy their Thanksgiving meal however they want to. But I also know that Thanksgiving meal can be a really high calorie meal for a lot of us. And we can do things if we're trying to follow a healthier lifestyle, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, whether you're just trying to be healthy. We all want to do some things, some tips, some tricks around Thanksgiving meal to help still follow that healthy lifestyle that we're striving for. So that's what this video is going to focus on, for some tips and tricks that you can use to balance out your Thanksgiving meal with things you can do around it so that you can continue to follow that healthy lifestyle that you're trying to do and still enjoy Thanksgiving to its fullest. Now, if you're interested, stay tuned for my 3 Thanksgiving tips for a healthy lifestyle. Let's go! Alrighty, the first tip that I have is don't save yourself for Thanksgiving. Now, this is a common mistake that I see people make as a dietitian. We think since Thanksgiving is going to be this big calorific meal, let's save on those calories by skipping the meals leading up to it so that we can save ourselves for Thanksgiving dinner. Now, let me explain to you why this is not a good thing. We're going to look at it from the perspective of both our metabolism and our blood sugars. Now, if we think about our metabolism runs at a steady rate throughout the day as long as we're keeping it fueled. So if we have food that's coming into the body, the metabolism keeps burning at the rate that it's burning at. But once we stop feeding the body, then what happens is the body switches to using our stored energy. And while we're using our stored energy, in order to conserve energy, our metabolism will slow down because we don't want to burn through whatever storage we have too quickly. Now, I know this is not what we intend when we think about Thanksgiving dinner. We're looking at the calories for the day and we think, okay, if I'm going to eat a day's worth of calories at the Thanksgiving meal, then I probably shouldn't eat anything else for the rest of the day. But what that's going to do is negatively affect your metabolism. Let's say you're having Thanksgiving for dinner, right? And you skip breakfast or you skip lunch. Maybe you eat something very, very, very small for lunch, but not enough to keep that metabolism going, and your body has switched to using its stored energy. Now, by the time Thanksgiving dinner rolls around, your metabolism has slowed down and you're introducing this big meal to your metabolism that's not running at its optimal rate. Same thing goes with blood sugars. If we think about our blood sugars, if we're skipping meals, our blood sugars are dropping down. And Thanksgiving meal tends to be a pretty carb-heavy meal, as it should be. We all love mashed potatoes and stuffing. But if we think about the carb content of our dinner, our Thanksgiving meal, what's going to happen is when your blood sugars are so low, you're going to introduce all this carbohydrate to it, spiking your blood sugars up really, really high, which is not good for us either. So in order to balance all of this out, I do suggest that if you're having Thanksgiving for dinner, have something small for breakfast, have something small for lunch, so you're not coming up to Thanksgiving dinner not having eaten anything throughout the day. If you're having Thanksgiving around lunchtime, I do suggest that you still have something small for breakfast so you're not super duper, hungry with nothing in your stomach coming up to Thanksgiving lunch. And still don't skip dinner. Your Thanksgiving meal may have been huge, so you may not be too hungry at night, but something small that maybe is going to incorporate more vegetables or fruits would be a great option at night, to have something small so that you're still following that 3 meals in a day, even when you're having Thanksgiving. Now, if you want some ideas, here are some ideas for breakfast and lunch options that are smaller options that are not too super filling that I think would be good ideas to incorporate before a Thanksgiving meal.
Alrighty, you can use these options for both breakfast or lunch, but the first one that I'm going to start out with is egg salad on toast. Now for my egg salad, I'm going to use these pre-hard-boiled eggs from Costco. You can absolutely boil your own eggs, and I'm sure it would taste better, but this was a convenient option. So I'm just going to chop these up into really small pieces to make this easier for me later on when I'm going to mash them. So get them nicely finely chopped. Get it into a bowl to be mashed, and then I'm going to add in one of these triangles of Laughing Cow, and I'm using the light one, but you can use the full fat option as well. And I'm going to season with salt and pepper to make sure that I have some good seasoning in there, and then I'm going to mash it all together. So this is an egg salad that does not use mayo. Instead, for the creaminess, I'm going to use the Laughing Cow for a little extra protein boost to have a healthier option. And there you go, there's my mashed egg salad, and I'm just going to put it on top of my toast and it'll be ready to go. You can absolutely do a little extra salt and pepper on top if you wish, garnish it if you would like to, but just on its own like this, it's actually pretty. Laughing Cow adds some good flavor to it that I think is actually a little bit better than mayo. So there you go, some egg salad on toast. The other option I have that you could do is oatmeal, of course, and you can spruce this up by adding more fruit, nuts, and seeds in there, but that's an easy option. And of course, you can always do a to-go salad. If you know you're going to be busy with cooking the day of Thanksgiving, pick up a salad to go so that you have it in your fridge to have at lunchtime while you're getting ready for your Thanksgiving dinner.
Alrighty, my Thanksgiving tip number 2 is going to be to not take a nap after Thanksgiving meal. I know we all feel that food coma. We eat this huge meal, the tryptophan starts kicking in, and we all get a little sleepy tired after Thanksgiving. Especially if you're having your Thanksgiving a little bit earlier in the day, there may be that perfect afternoon nap time that might be calling for you. But after Thanksgiving meal, really try not to, 1, take a nap, 2, ideally get moving. Having a quick walk, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes after your Thanksgiving meal, can be a huge way of balancing out that large meal. There's a lot of research that shows that a nice walk after a meal, especially a big meal, really helps regulate our blood sugars. So if you're in a place where you're able to do so, make this a family event, make this an event that you're doing with the people that you're celebrating Thanksgiving with, where you go on a walk together. Even if it's just a walk around the block, doesn't have to be a long, rigorous walk, just something to get your body moving to help your body start digesting a little bit better and burning through those calories a little bit better. And if maybe walking is not an option, or you go for a walk and you're still kind of feeling that tired, another suggestion I have is just incorporating fun games and activities with your family that are going to naturally get you up and moving. We're very tempted to just kind of sit and lounge and maybe watch TV and really relax after a big meal, but playing some fun activities that get you moving without you even realizing it are some great ways of getting your body active after a big meal. Now, I am a big believer in games myself. I'm the kind of person that always likes to play games at parties, so I do have a few suggestions for this. This is totally not dietitian related, but more stuff that I personally enjoy. So let me share a few ideas with you about games and activities that really get the body moving, that are so fun to play with your loved ones, that I think you might be able to incorporate for Thanksgiving time as well. All right, here you go.
Alrighty, the first game I'm going to show you is called Happy Salmon. Now this is a great game that's fast-paced, quick round, so it gets you up and moving very quickly, and it's good for ages 6+, so if you have kids in your family, younger ones, they're going to love this game too. This is a really fun one that'll get your blood pumping very quickly. And then the next one that I'm going to show you is called Beat That. If you've ever seen those minute to win it type of games, this is basically a game that does that. It comes with all these wacky challenges, as you call them, using cups and sitting down and getting up, and it naturally gets you moving, but it's so fun to play, and it's a little competition with your friends and family. So this one's a great one that's like a party game that's going to get everyone up and moving.
Alrighty, my third and final tip for Thanksgiving is going to be to make balanced meals out of your leftovers. Now, I'm not worried about balancing my meal during Thanksgiving time. You can eat however you want to. Personally, I'm going to be filling my plate with mashed potatoes and stuffing because that's what I enjoy. But we do tend to get a lot of leftovers after Thanksgiving. And while leftovers give us a quick, easy option for meals after Thanksgiving, they tend to be a little bit more on the carb-heavy side. I don't know if you're like me, but we always end up having a lot of mashed potatoes and stuffing left over. If we're lucky, we get some turkey left over. Vegetable leftovers tend to be more on the lower side. But if you think about all of those options together and how we can do a balanced meal, all the components are actually there. So we just need to kind of arrange them a little bit differently on our plate. Now, when I'm talking about a balanced plate, what I'm aiming for is that half of the plate to be vegetables, a quarter of the plate to be carbs, and a quarter of the plate to be protein. So if we look at the options we have for Thanksgiving, now our protein, of course, is going to be our turkey, or if you're doing ham, that's going to be your protein as well. That's going to go in that quarter of the plate that we're aiming for. Now, if we look at our carbs, that's going to be your mashed potatoes, your stuffing, your rolls, your mac and cheese. See, a lot of carb options there that you're probably going to have a lot left over of. But that's about the quarter of the plate that we're going for with a balanced plate. And then the half vegetables. So if you did any veggie side dishes like green beans, or if you had some salads on the side, that would be half of your plate. And if you're like me, we tend to not have as many of that left over after a Thanksgiving meal. So what I want you to do is when you have those Thanksgiving meals, really aim for that balanced plate that we talk about. And if you end up having a lot of leftovers where, there's no way for you to finish that level of food, that amount of food, while following a balanced plate, which tends to be the case for us, we end up having like a giant tub of mashed potatoes, a giant tub of stuffing that I would have to eat for like a week straight if I'm only putting that at a quarter of my plate. Now, if that's the case, then please give your leftovers away during Thanksgiving. Share those carbs with everyone so that we can all follow that quarter of the plate and no one's left with this large portion of carbs at home that they cannot go through. I don't like wasting food, but I also don't want to force myself to eat all these carbs so that it doesn't go in the trash. So, best way to get around it is just to share it with everyone. So whether you get some to-go containers ready to have after Thanksgiving meals, everyone can pack it, take it away. Whether if you're just using disposable plates, honestly, you can do a disposable plate, load it up, put another disposable plate on top, wrap it with some aluminum foil, and there you go, you have a to-go box. Whatever it may be, give those leftover carbs away so that everybody has some, and that's an amazing thing, of course, but then you're not left at home with a large portion of carbs that you cannot go through in time. Now, I know I mentioned that veggies are going to be the one that's likely not going to be left over as much. So chances are you may need to do some sort of a side veggie dish at home to help balance out the other leftovers that you have. So I have an idea. Here is my idea for a quick little salad that you can do at home that really doesn't require a lot of components, just a few ingredients that you can easily whip together to make a side salad that would go with your Thanksgiving leftovers.
So all you have to do for this simple salad is just to chop the lettuce, the cucumbers, and the tomatoes. So I'm using about 3 leaves of lettuce, romaine lettuce. Personally, I'm not a big fan of lettuce, so I do a little bit less on the lettuce and more on the fillings. And that's about 1/4 to 1/3 of a large English cucumber that I'm chopping up into small pieces. And then I have a handful of cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, whichever one you want to call it, that I'm going to chop into a little bit of a smaller pieces so they're nice bite-sized pieces. And all I'm going to do is just get everything chopped up and put it into my bowl. And then the dressing I'm going to use for this is from Trader Joe's. It's their vegan creamy dill dressing, and it's made with cauliflower, almond butter, garlic, lemon juice, herbs, and shallots. And it's very reminiscent of like a ranch dressing, but I love that it's mainly made with cauliflower. I really enjoy the flavor of it. I like that dill flavor. So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit on top. This also goes as a great dip on the side with things too, so just keep that in mind. But I'm just going to put my dressing on top, mix everything around, and it really does look like I added ranch to it. It has that same level of creaminess to make a really simple side salad. This is something that you can easily make at home when you're in a rush to have a nice side veggie option, and I think it would go really well with any Thanksgiving leftovers you have as well.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped give you some Thanksgiving tips that are going to be helpful with balancing out that big meal with things we can do around it, with the meals leading up to it, the meals after it, and what we can do physically to help balance out all these extra calories that we're going to be taking in at Thanksgiving time, which will be well worth it because it'll be a wonderful time to spend with our loved ones and be thankful for all the blessings that we have in our lives. Thank you so much for following Healthy Made Simple. If you haven't already done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button to help my channel grow, and stay tuned for future videos. This one was about Thanksgiving, but in general, I like to share videos that really make healthy eating and healthy living simple with some usable, manageable ideas that you can incorporate at home. Thanks again for staying tuned. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.